Welcome back to Figuring It Out. I'm Rachel Lee. If you're new here, this is a space where we talk honestly about life, healing, relationships, grief, emotional patterns, all that complex and complicated human stuff people are trying to simplify online. So, if something in this episode resonates with you, follow the podcast, leave a review, or send it to somebody who might need to hear it too. All right, I've been realizing a few things about myself lately, partly because I've spent most of my life paying attention to the things I didn't like about myself instead of the things I did. The mistakes, the flaws, the things I wanted to fix, the things I thought made me difficult to love. And lately, I've been trying to look at myself a little differently, if you will. Not through the lens of what needs work, but through the lens of what's actually good, what's actually changed, what's actually grown. And somehow all of that brought me back to drinking, or more accurately, why I stopped. Now, before anybody gets nervous, this isn't an anti-alcohol episode. I don't think alcohol is bad. I don't think everybody needs to stop drinking. And honestly, I don't even know what forever looks like when it comes to that. I just know that right now, I don't drink. By the time this episode airs, I will be just shy of 13 months without alcohol. And the reason I've been thinking about it lately is because I don't think I stopped for the reasons I originally thought I did. Because looking back, I don't think alcohol was the problem. I think my relationship with my emotions was actually the issue. And for a long time, I thought alcohol was actually helping me relax, helping me have fun, helping me not care so much what people thought. That classic story, a couple drinks and suddenly you're dancing and laughing and talking to everybody. That's how I viewed it. But one of the funniest realizations I've had over the last year is that a lot of that wasn't actually coming from alcohol. It was coming from me. I thought alcohol made me more confident. Turns out that's not the truth. I thought alcohol made me more fun. Turns out I'm already a smartass without it, and most people actually know that if you know me. But I thought alcohol also helped me loosen up. Turns out I was fully capable of doing that one on my own too. And that realization was actually like a weird one because it forced me to ask myself, how many things was I giving alcohol credit for that were actually mine all along? And a bigger realization came later. And this is the one that mattered. Because when I really looked at my relationship with drinking, I noticed something. Alcohol didn't make difficult emotions easier. It made them bigger. If I was sad, I got sadder. If I was angry, I got angrier. If I was hurt, I hurt more. It was like pouring gasoline on a fire that was already burning. And for a long time, I thought it was helping. I thought it was the thing helping me cope, helping me process, helping me get through whatever I was feeling. Looking back, I don't think it was helping me process anything. I think it was helping me avoid it, at least temporarily. The thing I didn't understand at the time was that I didn't really trust myself to handle big emotions. If I'm being completely honest, part of the reason I stopped drinking was because I got tired of carrying the shame that sometimes came with it. Not every time, not every night, but enough. I didn't like some of the choices I made. I didn't like how emotional I could get. I didn't like replaying conversations the next day, wondering what I said or, oh my gosh, how I acted. For a long time, I thought that the shame was the problem. Looking back, I don't think it was. I think the shame was the signal. It was trying to tell me something wasn't working. Not because I was a bad person or anything, and not because alcohol is evil. Because I wasn't showing up as the version of myself I wanted to be. And eventually I cared enough about myself to listen. Because once you remove the thing you use to take the edge off, you actually have to meet yourself. You have to sit there with your thoughts, your feelings, your triggers, your grief, your fears, and your insecurities. And trust me when I tell you, that's uncomfortable. But it's also where a lot of growth happens, because eventually you learn something. Feelings don't actually kill you. They pass, they move, they teach. And most of the time, they're asking to be felt, not escaped. The thing that surprised me most wasn't that I could stop drinking. The thing that surprised me most was that I actually liked myself more than I thought I would. Now, it's not because I became some perfect version of myself. It's not because all my problems suddenly disappeared or that life suddenly became easy, but because I have gotten to know myself differently. I got to see what was actually mine, what part was actually me, what was actually confidence, and what was just something I'd been borrowing from a glass. Turns out a lot of the things I thought alcohol gave me, obviously, were there, right? But I hadn't given myself enough credit for it. So, before we wrap up on this episode, I want to be really clear about something. This episode isn't about convincing anybody else to stop drinking. That's not my job. And honestly, that's not the point of the whole thing. The point is that I've spent a lot of time lately thinking about the ways we try to escape ourselves. Sometimes that's alcohol. Sometimes it's work. Sometimes it's relationships. Sometimes it's simply staying busy, constantly looking for the next distraction. But underneath all of that is usually the same thing. We're trying not to feel something. We're trying not to face something. We're trying not to sit with ourselves. One of the strangest things I've discovered over the last year is that I actually like myself. And not because I'm perfect. And definitely not because I have everything figured out, because hello. But because I've spent more time getting to know myself instead of trying to escape myself. The funny thing is, I was actually a lot less scary than I thought I'd be. And maybe that's really what this has all been about. Not because I'm somebody new, not fixing every flaw I've got going on. It's just getting honest enough to meet the person who's been there all along. The funny one, the emotional one, the stubborn one, the one who's still learning. And honestly, she's way more awesome than I probably gave her credit for previously. Maybe you're more awesome than you give yourself credit for too. All right, well, that's all I got for you this week. I'm Rachel Lee, and I'll see you next week as we keep figuring it out.